Hello, friends. Welcome to Pragish IS. I am Pragish Prazan, your friend, philosopher, and guide. Let's start our discussion on South China Sea. Imagine a vast underwater vault shimmering with possibility. Not overflowing with gold or jewels, but with resources that fuel our world oil, gas, vital trade routes. This isn't some fantasy movie, it's the reality beneath the turquoise waters of the South China Sea. A sea that should be a symbol of global connection has become a battleground. A modern day scramble for supremacy is playing out, with nations vying for control of this maritime treasure trove. The stakes couldn't be higher. Trillions of dollars of trade flow through these waters every year, keeping the global economy afloat. But tensions are rising, threatening to erupt into conflict and choke off this vital lifeline. This is the South China Sea dispute, a complex web of history, resources, and national pride that could have devastating consequences. The South China Sea is a vital artery of global trade, a shimmering highway where trillions of dollars of goods flow each year. Yet, beneath its vibrant surface lies a treasure trove of oil and gas, a prize that has fueled a complex and heated territorial dispute. Nations like China, Vietnam, the Philippines, and others have intertwined their histories with these waters, but their claims to various islands and reefs overlap like a tangled, confusing map. China's expansive nine-dash line, encompassing nearly the entire South China Sea, stands at the heart of the conflict. Its neighbors fiercely contest this claim, arguing it disregards their own deep historical connections to the region. China has taken an aggressive approach, transforming disputed reefs into artificial islands bristling with military might. This bold strategy tightens China's grip on the region, challenging other nations' claims. The Spratly Islands, a scattered collection of reefs and islets, are a flashpoint. China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Brunei all claim parts of this archipelago, leading to recurring tensions and accusations. The Scarborough Shoal is another hotspot, where a 2012 standoff between China and the Philippines brought the risk of full-blown conflict into focus. This complex situation is a potent mix of history, resources, and national pride. Each nation feels a strong connection to these waters. Can a peaceful resolution be found, or will the South China Sea become a stage for a far more dangerous confrontation? In recent decades, the delicate dance over the South China Sea has morphed into a forceful waltz, with China leading in a way that sends shivers down the spines of its neighbors. Gone are the days of hushed claims and historical whispers. China has thrown off the velvet glove and slammed a steel fist on the table. Their strategy? Land reclamation on a grand scale. Imagine fragile coral reefs, once teeming with life, being dredged and molded into artificial islands. These aren't just sandcastles for playful giants, these are fortified military outposts, complete with airstrips that could launch fighter jets and harbors that could house warships. Each island, the physical manifestation of China's claim, a not so subtle message etched into the very fabric of the sea. But China doesn't stop there. Alongside these artificial landmasses comes a growing military presence. Warships, once infrequent visitors, now patrol the disputed waters with an air of permanence. Advanced weaponry finds a new home on these manufactured islands, a constant reminder of China's growing might. The message is clear: China intends to be the undisputed king of this maritime domain. This aggressive stance hasn't gone unnoticed. A wave of anger and unease washes over China's neighbors. They see their once shared sea being carved up, their resources threatened, and their security put at risk. China's dominance feels like a tightening noose, a potential chokehold on their economies and livelihoods. The simmering tensions of the past have given way to a chilling standoff, the tranquil turquoise waters now a canvas for a brewing storm. Adding to the complexity are the overlapping exclusive economic zones (EEZ). These maritime zones extend 200 nautical miles from each country's coastline, granting them rights to valuable resources like fish, oil, and gas. With disputed islands and conflicting claims, the issue of who controls the resources within these overlapping EEZs remains a major source of tension. Finally, the freedom to navigate these waters is crucial for global trade. The South China Sea is a vital shipping lane, and the increasing military presence raises concerns about potential restrictions on commercial and military vessels. The fear is that a dominant power could potentially disrupt this critical economic lifeline. These issues, sovereignty over the islands, overlapping ease, and freedom of navigation feed into one another, creating a complex and dangerous situation. With no easy solutions in sight, the South China Sea dispute remains a source of instability, threatening the security and economic well-being of the entire region. In 2016, amidst the growing tensions, the Philippines took a bold step. They challenged China's expansive claims by filing a case with an international tribunal in The Hague. The world held its breath as the case unfolded, and then a bombshell. The tribunal delivered a resounding victory for the Philippines. China's 9-dash line was declared to have no legal basis, and its actions in building islands and asserting dominance were deemed a violation of international law. But China wouldn't accept this verdict. Like a defiant boxer refusing to acknowledge defeat, China rejected the ruling outright. Relations with its neighbors took a nosedive, as trust withered in the face of unyielding ambition. Today, the South China Sea remains a powder keg. China continues to reinforce its artificial islands, transforming them into military outposts that loom large over the disputed waters. Anxious Southeast Asian nations, aware of their vulnerability, scramble to forge alliances and bolster their own defenses. The goal: to counter China's growing influence and keep the sea lanes free. The echoes of that 2016 ruling still reverberate across the South China Sea. It has become a stark symbol of the widening chasm between what international law dictates and what raw power can achieve. The United States, a long-standing advocate for the freedom of navigation, isn't content to remain on the sidelines of this conflict. American warships navigate the disputed waters in Freedom of Navigation Operations FONOPs, directly challenging China's sweeping territorial claims. These tense encounters push the US and China dangerously close to outright military confrontation, a potential flashpoint with dire global consequences. The South China Sea dispute has also drawn the attention of rising power India. With its growing economic and military might, India plays a significant role in the stability of the broader Indo-Pacific region. India stands firm on the principles of a rules-based order, freedom of navigation, and the peaceful resolution of disputes within the South China Sea. To further these goals, India is a key member of the Quad, a strategic partnership with the United States, Japan, and Australia focused on keeping the Indo-Pacific region open and secure. The future of the South China Sea hangs in a precarious balance. It could be a place where careful diplomacy and respect for international law pave the way towards a peaceful resolution of disputes. Imagine a sea where trade flows freely, where nations respect each other's rights, and the focus is on shared prosperity instead of conflict. But that future demands dialogue, a willingness to compromise, and a firm belief in the power of the rule of law. Should these efforts fail, the South China Sea could become a flashpoint with dire consequences. Trade routes vital to the world economy could be stranded. The risk of armed conflict, once a distant possibility, could become a frightening reality, potentially dragging major powers into a confrontation no one wants. The South China Sea, a sea of breathtaking beauty, a sea of untold riches, but also a sea where the shadows of conflict loom large. Will the nations entangled in this dispute choose wisdom and cooperation over confrontation? Will they recognize the shared destiny that binds them to this crucial waterway? The future depends on the choices they make today. Only time will tell.